Wait, let's talk about TV piracy. I have a question for you guys. I read a pretty good article. I think it was from Verge. It's about how everyone is stealing TV. And it basically went through point by point how there's just this mass rise of people finding ways to steal TV in a variety of different ways. But it's gotten really advanced. So now you can see in the back of this truck here, there's the VC box. There's like these knockoff Android TV boxes from China, and people are reselling them in like the parking lot of Best Buys and stuff. And they're like, people are building these either media servers like Plex, or they're buying these boxes, and then they have like now basically paid piracy networks that collate all the different sports TV. Like, it's become really big. And obviously none of this is like brand new. It's more of that as TV quality has gotten shittier and more expensive, everyone is spreading this through word of mouth. So instead of being like a back alley thing, it's now like everyone in chat saying they do it. It's massive. And so now it's becoming like this huge parallel industry where everyone's pirating. Yeah, it's like speakeasies for alcohol during Prohibition. I'll be dead honest with you. Not under oath, but I used to pay for all of these services. Apple, Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, all of them. And then one day I came home and Ari said, no, we're doing this now. And there's something. And now we don't pay for any of them. And now there's just one thing that I click and I can watch all the. So, I mean, clearly something's going on. But my worry is the reason, I'm reading this article, The Verge, now it's a big deal. And now it's seeming like they're going to try to crack down on it. Does anyone in chat have a super box or a VC box? These are the big two they're talking about. Because apparently, like, there's all these networks of Facebook Marketplace and Facebook support groups of like families across America are finding a way to teach each other these boxes. It's not legal to have one of them, actually, or then don't say it. It says here the hardware itself is generic and legal, but you won't find these devices in mainstream stores like Walmart and Best Buy because everyone knows the point is accessing illegal streaming services that offer every single channel, show, and movie you can think of. But there's hundreds of resellers. So there's like, the article describes that there are resellers across the country who are like doing Facebook Marketplace meetups and meeting up in parking lots and selling this shit massive. And it all comes from like Chinese device makers. There's a retired former cop in upstate New York selling the VC box at the fall festival as local church. A Christian conservative from Utah who pitches rogue streaming boxes as a way of defunding the swamp and refunding the kingdom. And then every time, it's a long article. It goes into how they've tried to crack down on these resellers. And some of them are getting like jail time. And I mean, you feel bad for them, honestly. But they're getting locked up. But every single time they do, the demand is so great that someone else just steps in. It's like whack-a-mole. They literally haven't been able to stop it. Jason, for his part, doesn't beat around the bush where he stands in this conflict. I hope this puts DirecTV and Dish out of business, he tells me. People hate them. People hate them. They do feel like the quality's consistently gotten worse and the price consistently goes up. People are getting fed up, dude. It has reached a breaking point on trying to have basic media. And what's crazy is like, not that cable was good at all, but at least back in the days of cable, you'd get all sports with it too. Now the cost of everything combined is absurd. It's well above what cable was. I guess the problem is every time somebody gets one of these, they love it so much they tell all their friends and family. And so now it's spreading so virally, it's going to reach now I'm worried. Now it's like the crackdown is going to be real. Oh, it also said, a lot of you are in chat saying that you use Amazon Fire Sticks. It's funny because Amazon themselves will never admit it. They fully deny it at all opportunities. but apparently like a huge part of Amazon Fire Stick sales are just for how easy they are to crack and pirate. It's the actual competitive usage of the product is limited, but the reason it has sales is because people know how to crack it, and so it's interesting, man. I don't know where I'm a little worried because I don't want to get this stuff cracked down on. It's like a blessing. What's crazy, dude, I hate to go into it too much, but like some of these services, like for example, the one I allegedly might have, it's like it's not only that it's cheaper, because for me, I'm a price insensitive douchebag streamer. Like, it's not that it's cheaper, it's that it's literally better. It's just 50 times better. It's like easier. It's nice. It's fucking convenient. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the craziest part. Like, I'm not pirating music anymore because Spotify is very easy. But what's interesting, so that sort of ties into, everyone's fed up with streaming services. They fed up with the cost and they're pirating. But also, there is the trial going on for antitrust around Netflix buying Warner Brothers. Now, again, in the video I made on that, I said, I hope the antitrust steps in. I would love for this merger to get blocked from both sides. I don't want Paramount to buy it. I don't want Netflix to buy it. If it has to be one, I want it to be Netflix, because at least they only care about making money and they're not trying to like create some media conglomerate under Larry Ellison to push pro-Trump stuff, right? However, I'm watching part of this trial today, and it's not like a real antitrust enforcement. It's not like, hey, let's talk about market power, and it's like, Netflix, you're so woke. I got a clip. Wait, let me find that clip.
You have engaged in creating not only a monopoly of content potentially, but the wokest content in the history of the world. So forgive me if I'm a little concerned, not only as a parent, but also that somebody believes that we ought to have a wide variety of content options. There are some, but the overwhelming majority of your stuff right now is overwhelmingly woke. And
like, what the fuck are we talking? This is not a real antitrust trial. It was just this guy screaming at Ted Sarandos for being too woke. And then Ted's like,
it's not reflective of what the American people want to see.
So respectfully, if you ask a Netflix member today, or a consumer today generally, how they view Netflix, I think that a proof point that we might be doing the right thing is they talk about Netflix in the exact same terms as they talk about the country. About 40% conservative, about 40% liberal, and about 20% don't know.
Listen, the idea that Ted Sarandos is part of the woke agenda. Bro just wants to make infinite gobs of money. The idea that he fucking gives a shit is crazy. They want to buy Warner Brothers so they can raise prices and put Harry Potter on there. They don't care. It was an annoying thing to watch, because I think there should have been a real antitrust investigation into this, and about, getting them under oath on what they plan to do with raising prices, and but none of that was there. It was all about fucking goofy shit. So I didn't like that. And I think on a larger scale, this discussion about streamers and about cable and piracy, even all this is kind of ignoring the elephant in the room, which is YouTube, which is now, I saw that, YouTube was originally bought for like $1.8 billion back in the day. Now they make that in profit every 10 days. YouTube is fucking massive. YouTube is bigger than Netflix. It makes more money than Netflix. It's now, YouTube's gotten insanely big, and all of this streamer competition thing is like ignoring the fact that all of Hollywood, all of streaming media is a shrinking pie that is getting shoved out primarily by YouTube. YouTube is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Yeah, TikTok too. I do want to say, one more thing is like, so for a long, what's crazy, I think we did a video on this a long time ago, but it has played out. I think when I made the video, it was more of like a prediction. We did I did the thing where I compared it all to Game of Thrones and said YouTube was the dragon or whatever. But that was before YouTube had number one in profitability and revenue. Now it is. And what's crazy about it is, like, if you were to math it out, I don't have the numbers on me, but you can check them. I promise you. It's like Netflix. You know, paper pen. Netflix has to spend like $16 billion. Well, my sixes look like bees. $16 billion, like a quarter on content. So they have to constantly pay. YouTube doesn't. YouTube basically has it's like how I work my editors, bro. They just get a percent. I mean, YouTube might be spending more if you count like that percentage of ad revenue that they give, but it's only a percent of profit. So they never can lose any money. They never can have because it's distributed. I have to just hustle to make content people want to watch, and I'm competing in a marketplace with a zillion other people, and then YouTube doesn't care who wins. They just scrape all of it. And so it's just a way better business. Like, it's a way more unbeatable business. Netflix has to like pick. They have to like greenlight different shows. They have to go, oh, do people want Stranger Things 6 or do they want, Hustle 2 with Adam Sandler? I don't know what we want. And they have to decide. They have to make these choices. And it's somebody in Hollywood deciding. And usually it's like half wrong. YouTube just lets the infinite amount of content creators decide. The most views wins. And they just pay out a percentage of ad revenue. It's just a better business, bro. And it's crushing. And it's becoming more and more obvious. And then because YouTube is now on TVs, which has been for a while, but now it's like the biggest percentage of TV viewership. Actually, let me see if I can find this stat. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, dude. YouTube is the largest share of TV viewership. So, and if you look at these, this is for everybody. This is for all ages. But if you look at it for just young people, it's like astronomical. So they use their TV basically as a YouTube watcher. And that means they're growing up as YouTube being their default for where they get TV. And so it's like killing. I mean, Netflix is doing fine, I guess, because they're the giant of streaming. But every other streamer is getting squeezed. Every other streamer they're just not making enough. They're losing money. Which brings me to the point I wanted to get to, which is Disney. Okay, so here's the timeline on Disney. Because they have a new CEO, and I want to like kind of give the timeline here. So Disney, let's say like 2016 to 2020. This era, this is like peak Bob Iger. I need a photo of Bob Iger. This is like GOAT Bob Iger era. This is when I had the Bob Iger quote poster in my stream setup. Okay? Because Bob Iger comes out the gate swinging and he goes, I'm going to buy Marvel. I'm going to buy Star Wars. Might have been a little before this. His tenure through this time. It's like a little bit earlier. Marvel, I'm going to buy Star Wars. I'm going to buy, what else did he buy? Pixar. Yeah, Pixar. Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar. Fox. Okay. Just acquisition after acquisition. And Disney becomes massive and their stock price goes up. And then he retires. And they're like, Bob Iger, you're the GOAT. You should run for president. This is when I read his biography and I was like, Bob Iger, you're too tough. Your clothes are too fresh. Your swag too different. They'll kill you, Bob Iger. And then, by the way, right as he leaves, they launch Disney Plus. And it has a great launch. Disney Plus comes out and it's like, right out the gate, 100 million subscribers, like doing way better at a faster time than Netflix. It's going crazy. And then he retires. And all of a sudden, everything starts going to shit. Because Disney Plus is enormously fucking expensive. The growth flatlines. Netflix starts still beating them. And it goes bad. And there's the new CEO. And the new CEO, he's not doing so well. So then Bob Iger goes, time for one more ride. And then he comes back to the job in November of 2022, replacing Bob Chapek. So this is him, round 2. And this time he's fucking sweating, bro. This time it doesn't work. This time he comes back and it turns out like he's just dealing with the fallout of all of the compounding problems of here. The problem that Disney's not set up to compete with massive tech giants. And Disney Plus becomes ever more of a problem. So like, if you look at Disney, like back in the 90s, early 2000s, like peak Disney, that is a company that is like a media company, a movie and toy and merch company with a little bit of a theme park arm as a bonus. Now, in 2026, Disney is a theme park company with a money-losing media company attached to it. Disney is like all theme parks. The theme parks are the only thing that still works. The theme parks are the last theme parks and like the cruises. Still incredible because in the post-COVID era, everyone's like, I want to go somewhere in person, and Disney adults will pay through the fucking nose. Everything else is doing bad. And Disney Plus has become, it's shrinking now. Like Netflix is still growing. Disney Plus is now shrinking. And they put so much money into it. And not only are they losing money on Disney Plus, but they're losing all the money they could have got from selling Frozen to Netflix or, Inside Out to Amazon Prime or whatever. Our Star Wars to Amazon Prime. Like they could have made so much money selling their stuff to different streaming services. And so all the opportunity cost is lost and they're stuck on this. But then the third worst part is that because families are now cost cutting and they're cutting back on streaming services, they're buying like one or two, and it's often like Prime and Netflix or YouTube and Netflix. And so Disney Plus is getting cut out of young people's lives. And so there's a whole new wave of, Gen Beta kids and younger Gen Alpha who are growing up with just Cocomelon and Miss Rachel or whatever, and they're not getting any Disney movies. So the future of the Disney adult theme parks are dying. Like Disney's sweating. All of it is like, it's all hitting at once, bro. They were in such a good spot and now it's like collapsing. And so anyway, Disney stock doing quite poorly and they're pressured between the tech world, YouTube world, new kid stuff. Now they have this new CEO and I wanted to watch, there's a short video that's supposed to cover like his plans, but I'm like interested because I don't know what he can do in the short term, except maybe lean more into live service stuff, like more into, here, let's see. Let's try to watch.
The next CEO of Disney is Josh D'Amaro. Fans of Disney's theme parks, cruises, and resorts will know this 30-year veteran. He's held many leadership roles within the company, including president of Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and Disneyland in Anaheim, California. And for the past 6 years, he's led the highly...
I mean, even that, like, if you're picking your CEO from the experiences category, that says something. That says, okay, we're going to go with the area that's working. We're going to get a guy who knows theme parks and live stuff, because I literally think that's Disney's area to lean into. They're just getting crushed in media.
Profitable experience division, arguably the company's most important segment. He took over that role during the pandemic when everything, parks, resorts, and cruises were all shut down. The company's revenue fell by 35% in 2020. But D'Amaro used that time wisely by making improvements to the parks. Technology was upgraded too. Things like mobile ordering and the all-new Lightning Lane that allows parkgoers to skip lines to their favorite rides. He also oversaw the expansion of Disney's cruises.
They should just pull the Band-Aid off and make them adults only for Disney adults. Just ban the annoying screaming kids from the park so that me and my wife can go to Star Wars Land, okay? And spend $300 on a lightsaber and pretend to be... That's what we need, dude. That's what Disney needs to... Get out of here, kids.
Demand has soared, and the company plans to double its fleet by 2031. D'Amaro also had a hand in the company's international development. Think Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disneyland, or the new Zootopia-themed land at Shanghai Disneyland. He even announced a new theme park in...
Dude, it's funny they're doing Zootopia in Shanghai Disneyland. You know why that is? Because Zootopia 2 is the best performing Western movie in China ever. It beat Avengers Endgame. For some reason, maybe it's because everyone in China's a furry. I'm just putting that out there as a thesis. They love Zootopia. They go crazy for it, bro. By the way, like until Zootopia 2 just came out, Western movies in China were on like a huge downward trend because they have their own movies now. They have their own Chinese homegrown movies. They had that 2 animated movie broke box office records last year. But then now Zootopia 2 just came out and bucked the trend, dude. It went crazy. So they're going to make Zootopia 3, 4, and 5. I promise you. I promise you that. And they're probably going to be set in China. It's going to be the fox and the bunny taking a trip to a magical new Zootopia.
Disneyland, or the new Zootopia themed land at Shanghai Disneyland. He even announced a new theme park in Abu Dhabi with longtime CEO Bob Iger last year.
We feel very good about.
There's going to be a panda or a dragon character in the next Zootopia. I promise you that. I'm hand of Godding it, dude. Promise you.
The partner and what we're ultimately going to build here in Abu Dhabi.
Under him, the experiences division has returned to the best performing part of Disney's business. Where D'Amaro doesn't have as much experience is in Disney's streaming and linear TV business. This is also where the company faces the most challenges. More people are cutting cable and advertising revenue is declining, which is hurting every media player. It's unclear how he will tackle that. D'Amaro beat out fellow Disney executive Dana Walden, among other candidates for the CEO role. Walden is co-chairman of the Disney Entertainment Unit, so the TV and streaming realm is really hurt.
Tim, no disrespect. I'm not doing appearance judging here, but something about those eyes are kind of soulless. It's Mr. Beast smile. That's what it is. It's Mr. Beast smile. Something about the way she's smiling without her eyes, it's creepy. It's a Mr. Beast smile.
D'Amaro has been more public-facing, especially as Disney invests in its theme parks. Frequent Disney visitors have told me it's not uncommon for D'Amaro.
He's kind of got it too, honestly.
Disney invests in its theme parks.
Maybe if you're a 30-year Disney executive, it just comes with the territory. That's intense. That's intense.
Disney visitors have told me it's not uncommon for D'Amaro to be on Main Street greeting guests. Iger, who called the shots at Disney for the better part of 2 decades, leaves behind a notable legacy. He led the acquisitions of Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century Fox, pushed the international expansion of Disney's theme parks, and launched Disney's streaming service Disney+. During that time, Disney's market cap more than quadrupled. So D'Amaro does have some pretty big shoes to fill. But as someone who's been around him a dozen times, it does feel like he has that magic Disney touch. And it helps that he's got a pretty good track record.
It's just fucked because if Iger had left the first time, his legacy would have been untouchable, bro. But now it seems more like the product of its time. Yeah, I mean, Disney stock has been flat since 2015. Damn, 11 years. 11 years flat. This is when they thought Disney Plus was going to work, and this is when they realized it wasn't. So the 5-year performance is down 40%. Zootopia 3 will change everything. The traditional argument is that Disney's trying to get acquired. There was a thought a while back that Apple might buy Disney. But I think Apple's not interested anymore. Also, that should be blocked. Another thing that should be blocked. We don't need to consolidate ever more of the few relating media companies into 2 tech companies. You think Zootopia Tokyo Drift. You think to attract the gigantic Chinese movie market, they should call it Zootopia Tokyo Drift. That's what you think. Because they love Japan and China. That's what they... I'm not so sure that you've nailed... I don't think you should be the next CEO of Disney, is what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Oh, wait. One more? Why Disney is more expensive than ever? Because they raised the prices. This is like the Jimmy High Roller video, bro. I can answer it in 2 seconds.
The ice cream bar would have cost $2.75 at Disney World in 2009. With inflation, that bar would cost $4.22 today. But the price has more than doubled to $6.50. And it's not just the price of ice cream. Basic Mickey ears are up 67%. And the Mickey pretzel is up 118%.
Just pause. First of all, if people can't afford Mickey ears, our economy's going the wrong direction, okay? People need to be able to afford. Back in my day, you could afford on a single family salary to get Mickey ears for the family. Now you have to pick. You have to pick your favorite kids.
67%. And the Mickey pretzel.
And by the way, the Mickey pretzel's worth $8.24. I love a good pretzel. That looks tasty as fuck.
is up 118%. It's also gotten more expensive to get inside the parks. From 2015 to 2025, Disney World's top-tier annual pass nearly doubled from $829 to $1,629. That's a 44% increase after inflation.
Every year I think to myself, well, what's my breaking point? When will I say, oh, this is too much for an annual pass?
Disney attributes these price hikes to inflation, rising labor costs.
This is the youth that Disney's going for now. This is the new core Disney consumer that they're trying to get to.
Disney attributes these price hikes to inflation, rising labor costs, and the billions it invests to offer more experiences. But changes in how Disney sets park prices and its volatile entertainment division could also be to blame.
Now I feel like every time I blink, something new is getting more expensive in the parks.
So what's making a visit to Disney theme parks so expensive? And is there a limit to what fans will pay to experience the happiest place on Earth? Before Disney, America's earliest amusement parks weren't exactly designed with children in mind. Many were loud, dirty, and geared towards adults.
So we're just going back to that.
Featuring thrill rides and spectacles like human cannonballs.
Dude, bring that back.
The state of the amusement park industry was pretty sad because these parks had been around for a long, long time. A lot of them were in disrepair.
Coney Island, fire strikes again, destroying half of famous
They
Luna
gave
Park.
Coney an island?
Walt Disney saw this untapped market as an opportunity. On July 17, 1955, his vision became a reality, a sunny theme park in Anaheim, California.
Walt Disney's creation of Disneyland was like a refreshing change for the attractions industry because it was a new kind of amusement park that was much cleaner, much safer, and newer.
Disneyland wasn't just built for families, it was priced for them too. On opening day, the admission cost was 50 cents for children and $1 for adults.
Okay.
Adjusted for inflation, that's about $6 and $12.
That's nothing.
Rides were separate, costing somewhere between
That's
10
nothing.
and 35 cents, or about $1.20 to $4.20 today. And when ABC aired a live Dateline Disneyland special for Disneyland's grand opening,
People and eyes around the world are focused on these 160 acres here in Anaheim, California.
it became a national event. 90 million American households
Why does
tuned
Mickey
in.
look so scuffed?
By the time they did the televised version from the park on opening day, everybody in the country wanted to go to Disneyland. And that was a tremendous marketing strategy.
Okay.
A strategy that worked. In its first 10 weeks of operation, 1 million people visited Disneyland. By
Why doesn't Lucia just
1960,
do that?
some 5 million people were visiting California's Disneyland Park every year. Within its first 5 years of operation, Disneyland helped drive Walt Disney Productions' gross income from $27 million to roughly $70 million.
Sheesh.
Walt Disney was poised to grow the empire.
That is still the case.
Okay.
But expansion came at a price. Take Epcot, for example.
Ladies and gentlemen, Epcot Center, the opening celebration.
When the new park opened at Disney World in 1982, it reportedly cost the Disney company between $800 million and $1.2 billion
It's
to
just a
build.
big ball.
That same year, the company's ticketing system changed to a flat rate for entry and rides. This chart tracks the price of a one-day, one-park ticket at Walt Disney World from Epcot's opening in 1982.
Okay.
When it opened, a one-day ticket to Disney World cost $15. equivalent to $50 in today's money.
All right, not so bad.
Throughout the rest of the 1980s and 90s, that price climbed steadily as Disney World expanded with new lands, like MGM Studios and Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
After 2000, no new Disney World parks opened, but there were new attractions, and park prices rose even faster. But 2 years in the 2010s would change how the parks were priced for good.
Dynamic
In 2016, under the leadership of CEO Bob Iger, Disney introduced seasonal ticket pricing. This model created tiered ticket prices based on seasonal demand, with days categorized as value, regular, or peak.
Their peak?
As a result, one-day ticket prices climbed above $100. And in its first quarter earnings the following year, Disney said higher average ticket prices helped push parks and resorts revenues up 6%.
Okay, well.
2 years later, Disney World switched to a date-based pricing model, where ticket prices vary by date.
So everybody wants to come during summer vacation and Christmas when their kids are out of school. And the trouble is that if you've spent billions of dollars really to build these attraction facilities, they're open 365 days a year. It's just not efficient to have them filled to the brim for 4, 5, 6 weeks out of the year, and then not so much the rest of the time.
Okay.
That's Robert Niles, the founder and editor of the trade publication Theme Park Insider. Business Insider talked to him in 2018 at the height of Disney's pricing changes.
7 years ago.
So they really want to use all of their pricing and promotions to try and equalize the crowds throughout the year.
This approach is an example of dynamic pricing, where prices change based on demand, timing, competition, or customer behavior.
Sure.
Something most people are already familiar with from airline fares or rideshare apps, which charge more during rush hour or when the weather's bad. Disney is not the only theme park company to use this approach. In 2016, Universal Studios Hollywood, Disney's biggest competitor, introduced demand-based tiered pricing, raising single-day tickets to $115. Disneyland's lowest price ticket for its slower season is $104, the same price it's been since 2019. In 2024, Disneyland Paris went a step further, adopting an airline-style model where prices can fluctuate until the ticket is purchased.
Oh, like same day?
And it's not just tickets. Prices inside the parks have climbed too. We visited Disneyland ourselves to see just how much prices for food and merchandise have increased.
Dude, what's fucked is they get you on parking too. It's like you pay hundreds for the ticket, then it's an extra I feel like it's like $45. It's like insane for the parking. Then the food is expensive.
We started by making a list of items sold in the past that are still sold today and how much they used to cost. Then we went to the park to check out the new prices for everything on our list. The price of every item we checked has increased faster than inflation over the past.
Paid business trip for Business Insider. Yeah, I think this video was made by a Disney adult who got to do a fucking... We should do a story on all the stuff in Disneyland. I need to test everything. I need to check all the...
17 years. Now, even die-hard fans are having to make hard choices about investing in the happiest place on Earth.
How long have you been a fan of Disney, and how long have you been going to Disney parks?
The womb, potentially. I was a Disney child, to a Disney teenager, to a Disney adult. I've never really lost that love of magic. Now that I have adult money, I can start buying and collecting things I really like. And I love Disney art. I purchased this piece, which is Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame is my favorite Disney film of all time, and it's not appreciated nearly enough. This is something from my mom. It's a set of limited edition stamps. I have a huge Disney pin collection.
She's
I
like
have a pretty wide-ranging
adult.
collection of ears. So these are my favorite pair. They're modeled after Thanos' gauntlet. I have these are Scarlet Witch ones. This denim hat with the ears built in. These probably are my actual favorite. Like it's all like very like candy inspired, Ariel inspired.
They're like
look like the old
cutting.
school character hats from the 90s, like character headbands. But this is just a small amount of my collection.
Even superfans like Sarah are struggling to contend with the high prices at the parks.
To me, Disney World has always been one of the few companies and one of the few places that truly, truly cared about its fan base. My relationship with Disney has changed partly because Disney has gotten very expensive over the years.
In a 2025 Wall Street Journal survey, 74% of people said experiences like cruises, amusement parks, and trips to Disney resorts had become financially out of reach.
It's expensive to operate.
Has she not heard of credit cards? I'm sorry, but like, if you can't borrow money to keep up your consumer spending, then what the point is this country for? Like, Klarna that shit. Buy now, pay later that shit. Put that on Amex. You gotta...
Disney. And so I do understand some of the price increases, but I do think they are starting
Disney
to price
now,
out
pay
your
later.
average middle class family into like that once in a life.
There should be like literally a guy in a goofy suit at the front of Disney should offer to sign you into a debt contract where you can Disney now, pay later. Oh, yeah. Just 4 easy payments. And then you can go in right there and have a good time. And then he'll show up at your door and break your legs if you don't pay.
Time trip.
Disney is offering a summer promotion starting in May 2026. A $50 one-day park hopper pass for kids ages 3 to 9. Over the past decade, Disney has also layered new premium experiences on top of its core offerings. Take FastPass, for example.
Check this out. You roll up to the FastPass kiosk, throw your ticket in, boom, boom.
Sick.
Until 2021, this service allowed park visitors to skip long lines for free. Today, its successor, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass, is a tiered and pricey add-on, costing up to $449 depending on the park and time of year. There are other services Disney once offered for free that no longer exist, like Magical Express, a complimentary shuttle that transported travelers between Orlando International Airport and resort hotels. After Disney discontinued the shuttle in 2022, it gave guests the option to choose between services like Mears Connect, about $32 round trip for adults,
what about a
or
magical
its more
Uber
premium
ride?
minivan service, which can cost roughly $400 round trip for adults. There are also luxury lodging options. For example, when Walt Disney World's Bora Bora bungalows opened in 2015, one night at the bungalows cost upward of $2,100, or $2,876 adjusted for inflation. Now, a one-night stay at these deluxe bungalows can cost guests a minimum of $3,500, or over $6,800 depending on the season.
If you're gonna go to Bora Bora, why stay at the Disney bungalow? If you're gonna spend this kind of money, why? It's not even a park. It's just the Disney branded bungalow. What? What? For what reason? You can get a fucking Airbnb or something the same price. Why? You're paying $7,000 a night. Why put Disney on it?
Disney understands the demographic changes that are happening in the United States at this point. They understand what's happening with income and economic inequality. They know that the money is in the upper level, the top 10%, top 1%. They've created a wide variety of new products to try and, frankly, extract more money out of the people who have money to spare. Now, the downside with that is if you're one of those remaining middle-class people in America, you could get squeezed here.
I do firmly believe there are still ways to do Disney in a affordable way, but it is becoming harder.
And that's tough, and I feel that too, and I understand it. But at the same time, if Disney's going to grow, it's got to go where the money is.
And the parks are perhaps more important for Disney's overall business than ever. Disney is made up of 3 main segments. And entertainment led the way for decades.
TV is sort of a big fuel of Disney's other businesses.
Then came the cord cutters.
We didn't even talk about
online
ESPN.
streaming is rapidly killing cable, Meg.
Does this portend the death of TV?
In 2019, when Disney Plus first launched.
Bro, Disney Channel was cinema growing up. Okay, you can't. Disney Channel was good. It was bangers. It was a very competitive TV service for children. Okay, a lot of good stuff on Disney. I think pound for pound, Disney Channel beats whatever the fuck they're watching now, Cocomelon. And what channel has like kids shows like that now? Where do you watch that now? What is the current like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, or like a movie like Brink? Just YouTube? It's Twitch? It's Kai Cenat? It is, right? It's fucking YouTube. It's damn, bro, that's kind of crazy. High key.
Netflix already had roughly 140 million subscribers.
Disney committed an enormous amount of money to catch up with Netflix. It committed tens of billions of dollars. At one point, spending more than double what Netflix was spending.
It's the Big A Clip channel, yeah.
As time went on, the cost of building this streaming service began to weigh on Disney. At one point,
Dude, spending double what Netflix is spending to get Mandalorian and Grogu. To get, like 18 different fucking Marvel shows that are all like, damn, bro. She-Hulk and that's why Andor was good, but even Andor I heard was like, unfortunately not a hit. Like for the amount of money they spent crazy money on it. I'm glad we got Andor. It's a lucky fluke, but it didn't make the money back. I didn't drive enough subs.
Was running losses of $11 billion on its streaming service.
Disney CEO Bob Iger would later admit he thought the company invested too heavily in streaming. But at the same time, Disney parks rebounded quickly from pandemic shutdowns. Since 2022, Experiences, the division of Disney that controls theme parks and cruises, has become the company's biggest moneymaker, making up about 70% of operating income. So Iger made a choice.
I didn't even know it was that high.
Invest in what's working. In September 2023, Disney said it planned to invest $60 billion in the parks division over the next decade.
I mean, it's fun. It's 70% because the streaming service is actually money losing. Like, if it was a different world where they were selling all their property to Netflix and Amazon and getting renewals every year, they probably make a buck. It would be a big chunk of the company. But because it's all on a money losing Disney Plus.
And in 2025 alone, it increased spending from $5 billion to a whopping $8 billion. In 2024, at a conference for Disney's official fan club, Disney announced 4 new cruise ships and 14 new attractions.
4 new cruise ships?
As the company invests more money in new rides, cruise ships, resorts, and themed lands, the parks are what it's relying on to fund its future.
Yeah, that is actually becoming a parks company.
But will shiny new attractions be enough to keep Disney fans returning? Some families are even seeking out help to budget their trips. There's a whole industry built around planning a Disney vacation. Search online and you'll find countless groups, some even directly affiliated with Disney, who navigate this increasingly complex world of trip packages, vacation rentals, line skipping passes.
Wait, isn't NL the one that always goes on Disney cruises? Are they pivoting to a Northern Lion based strategy? They're all in on bald, mid-30s, single child families.
And more.
From a planning perspective for families, you then have to think about how are we getting there, where are we going to stay, how long do we want to stay, how much can we spend, all of those things become factors.
And Disney is still raising prices. In October 2025, it raised the price of the Lightning Lane Premier Pass.
If prices keep rising, we're probably going to have to cut back on how often we go. But I also think that, yes, Disney fans will find a way. And sadly, that is just to go into debt to go.
Oh my God, I was joking.
Which is a larger problem.
A lot
I was
of times
joking.
People will complain when the
No, don't find a way by going into debt. Dude, I was actually joking. That's insane to say. She couldn't even pretend to be like, yeah, I'll cut back if they raise the price. Like, maybe I'll cut back, but realistically, I'll probably go into debt. That's crazy. That's not finding a way. Finding a way would be like sneaking in food and like, doing everything you can to make it cheaper. Just putting it on a credit card is...
Prices rise, but they do still go. And I'm an example of someone who's still going even though the prices will rise. This year, I didn't even blink an eye. I just gave my credit card and I renewed the pass. Yeah, so someday I might get to that point where I'm like, really? I don't know, but I haven't reached that point. I don't think I'll reach that point for a couple of years, yeah.
Anyway, it's like, I think a short-term strategy for the company, doing more live stuff, more cruises, more... But there's a part in Bob Iger's book where he talks about when he's not yet CEO. He's working at Disney, but he's not CEO. He's talking to the CEO, Michael Eisner, and he's looking out at a parade of Disney stuff in like the late 90s. No, maybe this is like the mid 2000s. All the popular floats are from shit that was made 10 years ago. So it's like Aladdin. It's like Lion King. It's like, but it's all getting kind of old. And all the new stuff from Disney, if you remember Disney early 2000s, they have like Atlantis. They have like Brother Bear. All that shit, I mean, people love it, but it flopped. It all flopped. Yeah, it's like Pocahontas, Hercules, Tarzan, Brother Bear, Treasure Planet. All that stuff, it did badly. Like, it didn't sell a lot of toys. It wasn't like a big franchise. It was like okay, but they're iconic. People love them. People remember them from their childhood, but they weren't big hits. And that was the moment Iger said he knew he had to buy Pixar because all those kids, they liked the old Disney stuff, kind of. At that point, they were into like Toy Story, and it was all the new. That was the new stuff for kids. So they had to buy. That's when they had to buy Pixar to like get ahead with the children and get cars. And so now they're gonna have to buy Bluey, bro. They have to buy fucking Cocomelon. They're gonna have to buy Mr. Beast and put him in the. But what that really means is, the bigger lesson of that is like if they ignore children now, it'll hurt them a lot later because Disney adults will age out. Although that woman was pretty old. It'd be funny if Disney just becomes a retirement community. It'd be funny if Disney just keeps following this cohort of millennials until they're literally in the dirt.